So this video is about the discriminant. And so our discriminant is really b squared minus 4ac, the inside of a radical, and it comes from our quadratic formula. It's negative b plus or minus, so the negative boy couldn't decide, go to the radical party, or the square bouncer, remove 4 alcoholic cans. It's all over at 2 a.m. But it's the inside. This right here, it discriminates. It tells us what type of number we're going to get. So we're either going to get one solution, 2 reals, could be imaginary, could be rational or irrational, and 2 negatives. But it's going to tell us what type of number we get. Okay, so real, that's these guys, or not real, imaginary. So all you have to do is look at that little part, that inside radical, and it'll tell you whether it is one solution, 2 real, or 2 imaginary. So let's try it. So this is our A, right here, it's 1. Our B is 8, and our C is 16. So we don't have to do the whole quadratic. We're just going to do the b squared minus 4ac. And so I like to put the radical around it just because it tells us what the number is a lot nicer. So if we take our b squared, that's 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 16. We just have to simplify this. All we're looking for is if it's one solution, 2 real or imaginary. So we don't have to do a lot of work. So this becomes 64 minus, and then 4 times 16 is also 64. So we get 0. And square root of 0 is 0. What that means is you have one real solution. So why? So if you look at it, it's negative b plus or minus, and then we know our discriminant, our radical, is 0 over 2a. Well, if you have a 0 that is 2a, you have a 0 for the second part, it's just not there. So we have plus or minus 0. It's gone. So how many answers do you have? It's 1. So this right here means you have one solution. So if your discriminant is 0, there's one solution. So let's look at the next one. Now these all have to always be solved and set equal to 0. So we want to subtract everything over, and that just means change the signs as they move over. And then that's our A, our B, and our C. And again, just the radical part. So negative 6 squared minus 4 times negative 3. So this would be 36 plus, so negative times a negative, and then that would be 12 times 4, which is 48. And we don't even care anymore, but we'll simplify it some more. But this is 84. But all that really matters is that 84 is greater than 0. If it's greater than 0, that means we're going to get 2 real numbers. We're not going to get an imaginary number here. That's it. So when we solve this, we get negative b plus or minus radical something all over 2a. This just means 2 reals. There's no I. Let's try another one. This is the last one. So make sure you change the signs. Again, A, B, C. So square root, negative 4 squared minus 4 times 3 times 5. So that would be 16 minus, and then 4 times 5 is 20, times 3 is 60. So you can see that that 60 is bigger. So when we get these 3 numbers, just basically the 2a times the 4 is bigger than the b being squared, we know we're going to get imaginary numbers. So this is negative 44, and so we don't have to simplify it. It's I, rad 44. This means it is 2 imaginary. So how that looks is it would have been negative b plus or minus I square root over 2a, which is 2 imaginary. So anytime your discriminant is less than 0, you know you're going to get 2 imaginaries. If your discriminant is greater than 0, you're going to get 2 reals. And if your discriminant is 0, you're going to get 1 real solution. You can see how it's discriminating. It's saying, no, these are real, and these are imaginary, and these are 1 solution. So this is one way you can use it. Let's just say now that we want to find some number k. So we want to put some number in front of our x squared so that we have an equation that has exactly 1 real solution. So if you remember our graphs, it does this and hits here, or it does this and hits here. So it could be negative or positive. But if it's 1 real solution, that means our discriminant is equal to 0. So all you have to do is say A, B, C. and then you say b squared minus 4ac equals 0. This is one real solution. And so if we plug it in, our a is now k. We now have an equation we can solve for. So we get 576 minus 36k equals 0, and it's a nice, quick, linear equation now to find our k. See? And then, so our k is 16. So if we use 16x squared plus 24x plus 9 equals 0, we will get one of these two. And obviously it's the top one because it's going up. Okay, so let's hit pause and check this. Well, I'm going to hit pause and then pull up Desmos and check this. So as you can see now, looking at this, look, boom, one solution, just like we were talking about. So if you wanted to have two reals, you could do the same thing as solving it greater than 0. And if you want two imaginaries, you would just put less than 0 and find some k's that would work. And you'd find all the k's that would make it less than 0. There you go.